of what's known as the imperial image. It was a real problem, as it is today, to know who rules over us, who reigns over us. Unless you're on personal speaking terms with those in charge, you normally only see their image on coinage or banknotes, television or wherever else. And it was a real problem in the early centuries of the Roman Empire. So they came up with this theory of the imperial image. That whenever you saw the face of the new emperor, it is as though the emperor was stood in front of you himself, and therefore you were to obey whatever you were told. Now these two, this one's the Emperor Hadrian. He's responsible for having a wall built in the north of our country to keep people from Scotland coming in. Somehow Scottish people with the surname Anderson have made it. Maybe we just sailed round it, I don't know. And so it didn't work, but he was an astonishing man. But this one here is Claudius. I don't know if any of you have seen the I, Claudius series with Derek Jacobi. And he's mentioned in the New Testament because he expels all the Jews from Rome. It's at a very crucial point in the Acts of the Apostles. I will let you find that for yourselves and have a little read, because it really is interesting. Now, the imperial image was something that was very powerful. The trouble is when especially emperors had the habit of being assassinated or dying, if you spent a lot of money producing statues of them, you didn't want to reproduce statues of them or anybody else. So when you come with me to Greece, we go to the open-air museum at Corinth, and you surprisingly see many headless statues, deliberately created that way, so that, say you wanted a statue of yourself, you could buy a statue off the shelf. All you had to then have done is your face card, so it was much cheaper that way. And so it was with the emperors. And so you'll often see this. There's a very famous one, I think it's in the Vatican Museum, of the Emperor Augustus. It looks like he's had his throat slit because the line's all the way around there, but it's for that purpose. His head was added to a statue. So keep that in mind. Keep in mind the imperial image as well, because you're going to come with me also to Turkey, and when we go there, we go to Colossae, which is a beautiful place, really very exquisite. And they found many examples of the imperial image there. Knowing that, and knowing that the letter would go all the way round to that area, the Apostle Paul, brilliantly writing to the church in Colossae, says in Colossians chapter 1, how do I describe Jesus? Oh, I know, he's the image of the invisible God. So it's when you see, by faith, or maybe you've seen him in the flesh, Jesus, you've seen God. And it's as though God is there with you. Also, he talks about Jesus as being the head. And of course, for those who took on board this teaching, it's a head that never needed to be removed. You never needed to change a head because he's alive forevermore. So it's that very powerful imagery of, look, we've seen there, sealing or with things like this. So if you teach the Bible, try and be sensible, but try and use occasionally modern things, maybe like a pink phone or whatever, that I'm sure you can apply it somehow.
Yeah.
All right. Let me know when you do.